up, guys? My name's Matthew.
Christian here. What's going on, everyone?
This is Racing Through Life. It's a podcast hosted by OpenRace, and OpenRace is a real-time virtual running app looking to connect and motivate runners, as well as help event organizers increase revenue, reach a larger audience, and provide a more real-time virtual race.
And yeah, this is Racing Through Life. We're trying to brand ourselves more than just, an app company. So we want to be really connecting with the running industry, something that we find, the running industry people don't have as many eyes on it as other kind of top sports. So we're really trying to take a deep dive here on, event organizers, running coaches, and especially athletes. Another great athlete on today's podcast, Devin Williams, an absolute specimen of an athlete, decathlete, training for the 2021 Olympic trials. It's a good one.
Brother of Kendall Williams,
who we also had on.
Yep. And she and her brother are actually hopefully going to be the first brother-sister duo to compete in the Olympics.
Yeah, never done before.
In the same event.
And that's the asterisk there.
So they actually won the NCAA championships in the same event in the same year, and that's called what we found out to be the sibling sweep.
The sibling sweep. That was new to me. That was new in the vocabulary for me today.
Yeah. So welcome, Devin Williams.
Fantastic. Let's go.
Yeah. All right.
There we go.
All right, now we're rolling. Okay, beauty.
Awesome.
How's your day been so far?
Pretty good. I just got back from practice not too long ago and just been chilling out, watching some TV.
Nice. Is that kind of how your typical day goes? Like practice in the morning and then hang out in the afternoon?
Not typically. Well, today was kind of a recovery week. It's a recovery week for us, so today was pretty easy. Typically, we would have practice in the morning, and then after practice, I would go meet with my physio and have a session with him for about an hour and a half. And then depending on the day, I might have a massage scheduled. So just different stuff. And I try to eat in between those events that I have scheduled. So it's a lot of planning and just kind of planning out my week at the beginning of the week and set up all my appointments that I need to hit.
Wow. Nice. So quick, just question right off the bat. So for a diet, for a decathlete, what's the how specific are you with your diet? Do you follow a strict kind of routine sort of thing, or do you ever get like a nice little cheat snack in there?
Yeah, of course. You got to get a cheat snack.
What's the go-to?
My go-to is, after every competition, my first meal that I need is a pizza, a large pizza.
Okay, from where and what toppings? That's important.
I think it depends on what city I'm in. So if there's like a good pizza spot in a specific city, I might try that. But if I'm like in Athens, I might just get like Papa John's pizza, barbecue chicken.
Nice. Good. I like that answer. That's a solid answer. That's an underrated topic. Barbecue chicken on pizza. That's a good answer.
Very underrated. And you got to have the barbecue sauce. Instead of the marinara sauce, you need barbecue sauce.
Yes, that's the best answer. That's the best answer we've heard. Yes.
I think that's the first time you've heard someone else that you like that.
I like that. I get that, but only if I'm going like pizza. I like the pizza barbecue chicken and with the sauce on top.
I feel like barbecue chicken pizza from anywhere is gonna hit.
Really, I've only gotten it from like the faster foods. Yeah.
Yeah. I like the barbecue chicken pizzas.
I'm gonna start getting more of it now.
Was that a routine since like early age or just since like big competitions?
I forget what year in college I started doing that, but I started in college.
Okay.
So whenever we would just finish, I would just try to get a large pizza and just eat it. Yeah, if I was in Athens, I would just eat it in my dorm, or if I'm at a meet somewhere else, like out of state, I would just eat in my hotel room.
Solid. That's sick.
Awesome. And when you're not winning competitions and your pizza, what are you doing like prior to that, like diet wise? Are you on like a strict diet in that sense?
I wouldn't necessarily say strict. I try to make sure I eat lean meats and get a lot of protein. Mm-hmm. And then also get a lot of carbs from like pastas or rice, bread sometimes. But I just try to have a good balance of protein and carbs. Yeah. But I've never really been into counting calories and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just kind of go off how my body feels. And I just try to eat as much as I'm pretty much used to eating before a competition or a practice, because I know how much I'm going to burn. So I'm just trying to fuel for that. And then afterwards, I know how I feel after that. So I just try to eat until my body feels right again.
Solid.
Awesome. Yeah. That's nutrition is a very underrated thing that people just kind of get into when they're older.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
good to kind of get into that when you're younger to keep your body right, because the diet's very lax when you're younger, and you could probably be so much better when you're younger if you're not just munching on like McDonald's for lunch whenever you feel
want,
like it.
man.
Yeah.
We come home from lunch in high school and just get pizzas all the time.
7-Eleven.
And also,
Seriously, man.
Also going off of what you said, like a lot of people also downplay the importance of getting a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
That's another thing that that's another thing I try to pay attention to, is making sure I get at least 8 hours every night. Or I would say at least like 7 hours, but I shoot for 8 every night. And whenever I can take a nap, I try to get a nap also, because naps are really beneficial too. So just kind of those things that I recognize that not many people pay really close attention to. I try to make sure I pay attention to, the food I eat, my recovery process, getting enough sleep, and all that kind of stuff.
In regards to sleep, like for me, I can tell, like, let's say I had like, I think 7's my sweet spot too, like 7.5, like 8 kind of. If I get like anything less than 7, if I get like 6, I feel I noticeably feel horrible next day. Is that like for training wise, you probably feel the same? Like waking up for like a morning lift, you're like, something's off. It's probably
if you don't get enough sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I had that same feeling, but then I try to fill it in with something else. So I'll try to like get some extra energy. I might take I'm not a big energy drink person, but I might drink like an energy boost type of thing, or like a pre-workout.
Yeah.
So, but I do notice, like, if I get less than, my 7 to 8 hours a night, I'll wake up first of all, it'll be hard for me to wake up.
Yeah, that's the first part.
Yeah, because I'll still be sleepy. So usually when I get less than 7 to 8 hours, I wake up pretty sleepy, but then I try to just take like some type of energy boost and do what I have to do. And then try to, you can't really make up overnight sleep, but I'll still try to take a nap that day at some point.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that's a good, I guess, substitute. That's something I do as well, where if I don't get enough sleep and we like work out in the morning, pre-workout wakes me up, gets me going throughout the day. But like, it's just getting out of bed, which is the hard part.
Dude, you have when you want to talk about someone that won't get out of bed, how many times he'll pick me up, like we'll carpool to work, and he'll be like 9:15, text him, yo, what's going on, dude? It's like 9:40 we're at right now. Like, what's happening? You good? And then he just says he responds, dude, went back to sleep. I'll be there in 30. Like, it's like I could have had a workout. I could have had a workout.
Not today.
I could have had a workout today.
Brutal. That's kind of the same way. Like, even me, like, I'm not a morning person. And even when I get my 7 to 8 hours and even more hours of sleep, like, it'll still be hard for me to get out of bed. But I still take like 5 or 10 minutes, like sit on my phone or whatever, waking up, and then I'll finally get up. But yeah, I'm not much of a morning person either.
Yeah. Any techniques that you've had that works where that like you hear your alarm and you get up at least 5 to 10 minutes later and don't turn it off and go back to sleep for another hour?
Well, for me, I set 2 alarms. So I set one alarm for the time that I'm trying to get up at, but then I'll set another one 5 minutes later in case I fall back asleep. But lately I've been kind of getting up on the second alarm. So like I'll turn my first alarm off and then I'll be like, all right, I got 5 more minutes to sleep. And then my second alarm will go off and then I'm like, all right, now it's time to actually get up.
Okay, yeah.
It's pretty normal. It's pretty normal. Like how many do you have? 8?
Well, this morning I put my phone in the washroom too, and I had to get up.
You even got out of bed and you went back to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know people with like tons of alarms, but yeah, I just try to limit it to 2.
It's honestly just like a mindset.
Alarms, I'll never get up.
Yeah, it's just a mindset. You just have to get in a routine, honestly. That's the biggest thing. Like, if you get in a routine and you can probably just start waking up without an alarm.
21 days. It's signed. I'm pretty sure it's like scientifically proven. If you do something for 21 days straight, it's like a part. And then the next, like, let's say the 22nd day, you didn't do that, you would feel like something was off. Like something out of my routine was off. So if you did 21 days, like getting up early, you'd be like, the 22nd day, you'd be like, yeah, something's off.
Yeah, I've heard that.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of. I heard something like that too, also. But that makes a lot of sense because sometimes I'll wake up like if I'm sleeping in until my alarm's usually set for 8 o'clock, but then I set my alarm for 8:30 the next morning. my body was still waking me up at like 8:05
Yep.
before my alarm. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I've heard that too for like smoking and like or getting rid of like smoking and any kind of addictions. That's like 21 days. If you can do that, then you're kind of good.
On the
you
right track.
broke it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so I want to go back to kind of like your early, not childhood, but I guess middle age, adolescent, teenhood. How'd you you started playing 5 different sports, you played 5 different sports, and then you said that you got into track because you wanted to get faster for football. How did that kind of come about, and what 5 sports did you play prior to that?
So the 5 sports that I played growing up was baseball, football, basketball. Soccer was actually my first sport, but I wasn't very good at soccer. Wrestling, and so actually 6 sports, because track.
Yeah. It's 6.
So I forgot soccer, but yeah. So growing up, I was mostly a football player. That was my favorite sport. And then the way I kind of got into track was my sister, she saw a sign on which would be our future high school, for track tryouts for like a track club. So she asked my dad, like, could we try out for this track club? And I didn't really want to run track because I'm just all football. Like, I'm a football guy, and I'm already playing these other sports. And I'm like,
you have no time.
I'm trying to play football. Yeah, exactly. So, my first reaction was I didn't want to run. But then at that age, I think I was about like 7 years old. My dad was like, if you don't run track, your sister's going to grow up and be faster than you. So, and you're a 7-year-old, when you hear that, you like, I can't let my little sister grow up and be faster than me. So I was like, all right, I'll run track. But, when I got into it, I was thinking that it would make me faster for football. And that was kind of my main reason for getting into it.
Okay.
So just like kind of back to that point. So it was a pretty smart move by your dad. Your dad's like, hey, Devin, if you don't do track, your sister's gonna get faster than you. And he knew right away. I'm signing, put my pen in the name. I'm there. Saturday morning, I'm there.
He knew exactly what to say.
So also your dad, you said, coached you majority through your life in was it all sports?
Pretty much, yeah. Every sport I played except for soccer and basketball. But every other sport, he was the head coach of.
So just
coach.
Yeah. So he was always there, kind of like, mentoring you and teaching you as you grew and stuff. So a lot of kids that I find, everyone has mixed emotions towards, their dad being, I guess, their coach, because there's a fine line between, being like a father and a coach. And then sometimes that doesn't, I'm not going to say it could positively or negatively affect relationships. So how was you and your dad's relationship, growing up, being, I guess, the coaching father relationship?
It was great. And to me, I think it always kind of gave me like some underlying motivation to be the best athlete I could be, because I was the coach's son in every sport. So I think growing up as the coach's son, it kind of just gave me that push to, work as hard as I can and, be the best teammate I can. And then also do extra work when we get home, because he also used to, pay me like $1 or $2 to run around the neighborhood and come back in a certain amount of time. If I did it, I would get $1 to do that. So that was like another way that he kind of helped me grow as an athlete.
Yeah. Wow. That's cool. What other kind of tactics did your dad have?
So how many did he have?
I couldn't even count them. It'll take a lot of thinking to really go back and see how much, like, all the tactics that he used. But those were like the main 2 was, he knew exactly what to say to get me involved in a certain sport if he knew that it would be good for me. And then he also knew how to motivate me to do extra stuff at home. So,
smart.
Yeah, smart man.
Very. So back to the track and how you like kind of got into track. When you started track, did you stop to other sports? You continued playing football, and up until when did you kind of solely start focusing on track?
Yeah, I continued. When I started track, I continued all my other sports. I forget when I stopped playing soccer, but I think I only played like a couple years or whatever.
Okay.
The main sports that I was playing when I was running track was football, basketball, and track and baseball.
Yeah.
So when I started running, I was playing all those sports, and I remember going from because track season and baseball season is kind of the same.
Yeah.
So I would have to like run my race, and then me and my dad would get in the car, and I would change my uniform in the back of his truck into my baseball uniform, and then get out and play a baseball game. So that's kind of how like my childhood went, because football
Wow.
season was pretty much all football season. But then by the time track season came, I had to balance between that and basketball, that and baseball. And then when I grew up, when I got to high school, I just focused on football and track. So those were my only two sports I was playing in high school, and then I just went to college for track.
Okay.
So that's
Awesome.
kind of how it narrowed down.
Were you trying to look, I guess, when did you decide that track was going to be your sport in university? Were you still trying to, I guess, make it to university with football at high school?
No, I don't remember exactly what age track clicked for me, but track just kind of became like my main sport. And I think that happened probably somewhere early high school, maybe like right before I got to high school. Everybody kind of knew me as the track guy, even though I was still playing football, but they knew me from track.
Yeah.
So I think just kind of growing in the sport and learning more about it and getting better in the sport, I think it just kind of became my dominant sport, and also the one that I enjoyed being in the most. So by the time I got to high school, I already knew that I wanted to go to school for track.
And just to add on to that, so we know not only your dad being a great motivational factor for you, but your sister Kendall also very good track athlete. How was the competition, I guess, between you two? Was it probably a lot of pushing from each other kind of thing? You guys both wanted to be the best athletes you guys could be. So how was that going up with her also being a really good track star?
It was great. And, we get this question a lot and we get the same answer, but there's really no competition between us. We've always been, our dad has always told us, like, you guys don't get awards for beating each other.
Yeah.
So there's never been a competition between us. It's kind of been more of a motivational thing, like wanting to make our parents proud and do the best that we can do. And I think that motivates each other. So I think, we look to each other for motivation and just, want to make our family proud and just make everything that they've sacrificed for us to be in the positions we are to allow all that to pay off.
Awesome. Great answer. And then I guess, so now you're in high school. By this time, you're probably in high school, doing really well in track. Kind of tell us about the whole, scholarship, I guess, process, how many, who was calling you, who was really interested into you, and why did you choose Georgia?
So around junior year is when schools can start talking to you. So I think around that time I started getting a lot of letters from everywhere, and letters aren't usually like offers. They're just kind of like, hey, we're interested, like we noticed you. So I started getting letters from all kinds of places, like places that were not even known really for academics. I mean, not really known for athletics, but known for academics.
Wow.
Were sending me letters. Yeah. So, and I even got a letter from like Navy or something.
Wow.
Yeah. But in terms of offers, I had offers from, I believe, Kansas State, Clemson, Georgia, of course. And I think there was another one, but the two that I was really between was Kansas State and Georgia.
What was the big factor between the two? Did you visit both schools prior to?
Yeah, I visited all the schools, and really, at first I wasn't even really interested in Georgia because in my head I wanted to go out of state somewhere. Like I was tired of being in Georgia. I just wanted to, go somewhere new. But then I went to Georgia on my visit, and I just fell in love with everything. The coach was exactly what I needed. I liked the campus, and everybody there was nice. I already knew some people that were there too, and I was close by home, so I could go home whenever I wanted to, and I saw value in that. So that's ultimately the reason why I picked Georgia. But I went to Kansas State on my visit, and I remember being on the plane, and we were about to land, and I saw nothing but cornfields while we were landing. And I was like, are we about to land at the airport or at in a cornfield somewhere. So I finally started to see pavement, but yeah, it was like, it just wasn't like my scene.
Yeah, you
Kansas.
didn't feel the home vibe in Kansas. Yeah.
No, and my main reason for visiting there was they had a really good coach, and Cliff Revelto. He's like a legendary coach and has coached a lot of Olympians. So that was like my main reason for going to visit there. But after going there, I was just like, yeah, I can't see myself here for 4 years.
It's fair. No, 100%.
Yeah. Why not Clemson?
Clemson was high on my list also, but it just came down to coaching and environment. And when I got to talking with Petros at Georgia, I just knew like his background and the events that he was really – sorry, it's my dog shaking next to me. The events that he was really strong in, I knew that's what I need the most work in. So I knew he was a good pole vault coach, and me coming out of high school, I had never had a pole vault coach before. Okay. I was really getting coaching in, the sprinting events, the jumping events, but I didn't have a coach really for javelin or pole vault, and some of the more technical stuff. So I knew he was a super technical coach, and that's what I needed coming from my dad's training, which was, really hard, like strength training and endurance training, stuff like that. So I knew if I mixed my dad's training with Petros training, that I would go to the next level.
Smart. No, that was a good choice. Well, obviously, by the looks of it, it was a fantastic choice. But I just want to go back just a little bit here. So you're a decathlete. So this is for those that don't know. You participate in 10 events. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here. These are just coming from Google. So please let me know if I'm wrong. 100 meters, long jump, shot put, high jump, 400 meters, hurdles, discus throw. I'm saying that correctly? Discus throw, pole vault, javelin throw, and then 1500. So you're literally going everywhere, all around track here. At what point in high school did you know you were going to become a decathlete?
Well, actually, I was a decathlete before I got to high school because the club that my dad became the coach of was a summer track club. So in the summer, that's when we could do like the multi events. That's when Kendall could do the pentathlon and I could do the decathlon. But in high school, they didn't have the multi events, so we would just do some of our open events. So I would do, really, both of us would do the hurdles, long jump, and like a relay or something like that. But then when the summertime would come back around, then we would get back into decathlon and pentathlon at the time. So I actually started doing, it was the pentathlon at the time. I was 11 years old.
Holy.
Yeah, so I did 5 events when I was 11, and then I think by the time I got to 13, I think that's when it became the decathlon. So I was a decathlete going into high school pretty much.
Okay, so that's So because I didn't know how, like, just from my perspective, I didn't know how kind of, like, how often do you find that track athletes that are more so good, let's just say, if there's one athlete going to high school, it's really good at like the 100, 200. How do you think there's athletes like that then try doing, like the javelin, the shot put, and then they know they're a good all-around athlete, so then they start branching out into like the decathlon? Does that ever happen?
Yeah, probably. I think most people that have done the decathlon or some type of multi-event while they were young, they usually started off doing some other event first. Yeah. And then we're just trying stuff. And I think in my case, before, like when I first started running track, I was like 100 meter, 200 meter, 400 meter person. Yeah. Or kid. So I guess that was my background. And then, over time, I just started trying different events because since I was fast, I got into the long jump. And then, over time, I just started trying different things until I got to where I could start hurdling. And then the hurdles became my main event. So then by the time I got old enough to do the multi-events, I was already pretty much doing, pretty much the whole thing anyway.
Yeah, you were prepared.
Yeah. So I think over time, I just kind of had background in a lot of different events to where when I got old enough, my dad was just like, you might as well just do the pentathlon.
He had the plan. He knew right away what he was getting
into. He always has a plan.
Yeah. That's awesome. So let's go to college now. Now you're in Georgia. How was, first year, how was that transition to, being away, you weren't that far from home, being away from home, living on your own, and your first NCAA year?
It was really good. I wish I remembered the numbers, like what I scored, but I know I had a personal best in my first season.
Awesome.
So I saw a lot of growth in my first year. I didn't make it to any national championships my first year, but for me, just being able to see, the growth in certain events that I know I need to work in coming into school, I started seeing growth in those and started getting more comfortable in those. So that's kind of the story of my first year, just kind of getting comfortable with events that I had never done in practice before, and learning new techniques, being with a new coach, because my dad had coached me for at least, I guess, 10 years up to that point. So just getting used to a new coach, new environment, new training. So overall, it's pretty good.
And another thing, Kendall said you and your story and her story, kind of like it was both unique in their own ways. And she said you had a little bit more of a kind of up and down kind of path in your career. How was, did you come across any sort of injuries, during college or even now, anything that's kind of, I guess, every athlete's got the up and downs, but kind of talk to us about that.
Yeah, I went through a lot of injuries. And actually my second year is when I think my biggest injury came. I had a stress fracture in my pubic bone, which is basically I was having pain in my hip.
Okay.
The fracture was like in a bone around my hip area. So my second year, I redshirted, and I redshirted for the whole year. So I was basically just practicing for the whole season.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my first real big injury. And then, after that point, I couldn't tell you all the injuries that I went through.
Wow.
Some of them bigger than others, but I think that was kind of the main one that really sat me down and made me realize, like, you got to pay attention to your body. You got to make sure you're warmed up properly and do all the things off the track that you can do to make sure that you're healthy so you can stay on the track. And I think I've learned all through all the injuries that I've been through that, that's the case. Like, you got to make sure that you're paying attention to your body. And even when things happen after you do pay attention to your body, you got to, still work the little muscles and not get lazy. Because I think a lot of people, when they get injured, they get lazy and just, just take a lot of time off and do nothing, just trying to let it heal. But that's the time where you really got to, work the small muscles that you don't usually work when you're lifting weights. So, that's kind of the things that I learned while I was dealing with my setbacks.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I think that's a big thing for all, and especially younger athletes too. Just on the mental side, I guess it's your second year in Georgia, and then this kind of injury kind of gets thrown your way. How was that for you? I guess mentally and physically, being so young and you're excited for your second year coming around. So how was that for you?
It was really tough.
Yeah. I think your audio might have just.
No,
I can't. Oh, it could have been the AirPods died.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I got you.
All right. I was saying that. Wait, what was I saying?
The injury. I was asking on the, for second year, it must have been like, so I guess on your mental side of things, how was it for you mentally and physically second year getting that injury thrown at you?
Yeah, that specific injury that came my second year, that one was really annoying because it was like, it would go away and then, I would come back and I would tweak it. So that one was it was really frustrating because, my trainer's job is to be kind of not passive, but, they're not really aggressive when it comes to with an injury because, they want you to come back as healthy as you can. They don't want to rush anything.
Yeah.
And, me as an athlete and also my coach wanting me to get back on the track, it was hard to, kind of take things as slow as they wanted to sometimes, even though they may have been right at the time. But, just us being competitive,
Yeah.
we want to try to get back on the track as fast as possible. So, you know, a lot of things came up, and, you know, I'd have weeks that were good, that I had no pain, and then, you know, there'd be one week where it was just, I wouldn't be able to do much. So it was just frustrating having to deal with, you know, being able to like be clear to do stuff, but then something hurts. Now you got to take it back to where you were before and start things slow and, you know, kind of build up that way. And that was pretty much the story of that injury. It just kept coming and going until eventually sometime my third year, I just kind of just broke free from all that pain.
How was the latter part of, I was just going to ask about Georgia. So then the injury kind of, you're pulling through it. So how was it the latter year? I guess that's junior and senior year.
Junior and senior year, I grew a lot for sure.
Awesome.
And pretty much since my freshman year, I had PR'd every single year that I competed.
Awesome.
And I think that's pretty much I tip my hat to my coach, because that's pretty much the reason why I came here, is I knew I'd be able to progress in that way, because he would be able to, you know, coach me in events that I never had coaching in, really.
Yeah.
But my junior and senior year, I had a lot of growth, and really just, I think those are the years where I started to really feel like a top decathlete. Like I really had what it takes to be a top decathlete. And I'm not really sure what unlocked. I couldn't give you that answer, but you know, my guess would be just growth and just time in the event, time in the sport, and time in the program too. Because when I came in my freshman year, you know, I was a baby basically. Like I was starting from zero.
Yeah.
I just kind of just grew through the program and just became that guy to where I believe my senior year, I was the team captain. So I think just growing through the sport and, you know, just going through everything that I went through, I think just helped me become who I was my junior and senior year.
Awesome.
That's great. And when did you win your NCAA championship? Was that senior year?
That was my senior year. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That was actually my fifth year. My fifth year was my senior year.
Yeah, because you took the red shirt year?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. How was that feeling to like have that like last year and come out as like like the ultimate champion basically?
It was great. And, you know, not a lot of people know this. I've said it before, but I don't think a lot of people know is I hadn't won a decathlon until my fifth year. Like I had never placed first in any meet, not even talking just championships. Like I had never won a decathlon at any meet.
Wow.
What?
So my senior year was kind of, I guess, my breakout year, because not only was I able to win like my first decathlon, but I was able to win an SEC championship, win a NCAA championship, and both of those indoors, and then outdoors win an SEC championship, and then place second at nationals.
Wow.
Yeah, and this is all senior year?
All senior year, yeah. Everything, all the championships that I earned were in my senior year alone, which is crazy because I hadn't won a state championship until my senior year in high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so for some reason, it's something about the senior year that it just, I don't know, everything goes right the senior year for some reason.
The barbecue chicken pizza is hitting different in senior year.
Yeah, exactly. Get the barbecue chicken pizza time to work.
Wow,
that's awesome. Sick. Congrats. For all that in 1 year, my head would have been my ego would have been bigger than it is now, man. That's sick. That's cool.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's a great story. And then from there, you continued obviously, and then went on to go to World Championships. How did your training change at all post university? Did you stay with the same coach as the university coach?
In 2017, yeah, we just kind of carried on from the college season.
Okay.
And so yeah, the training was pretty much the same. And I even at US trials in 2017, I even wore my Georgia uniform still.
Nice.
So that was like my last time wearing that jersey. So I still felt like I was in school, and I was still representing my university. But yeah, that was 2017. And then I went to London for the World Championships and placed 10th overall.
Nice.
And I want to say I was the youngest person in the whole competition at 21. There might have been one guy that was younger than me, but I was definitely the youngest inside the top 10. And then 2018 we just talking about 2017. Are we going?
No, yeah, keep going. No, just keep talking. Just talking
Okay.
about kind of your progression. I love it.
Yeah, and then so we get back from London, and then 2018 comes, and I actually moved from Georgia to California to the Olympic Training Center.
Yep.
Okay.
And I was training there, but then I actually ended up getting injured there also, and kind of spent my time there nursing that injury and kind of rehabbing and stuff like that. And I was only there for about 6 months until I decided to come back to Georgia to train with my college coach. So I came back in the summer of 2018 and just kind of started training again and getting ready for 2019 season.
That's awesome. Then 2019 comes. You went to the World Championships, won those. How was that? And how was the whole championship? And then we can go into like this year's Olympic trials and what happened.
Yeah, so 2019 was a big overcoming year for me because, like I said, in 2018 I got injured and couldn't compete at all for the 2018 season. So when I came back for the season 2019, I was at a meet. My first meet in 2019, it was January. It was an indoor meet.
Yeah.
And I went to hurdle and pole vault at this meet. And pole vault was first. So I'm warming up, and I actually, when I planted the pole, I didn't check my step, which I should have done. But I think I was just having to run between the pole vault and the hurdles because the hurdles had a balance between those two because the hurdles were on the track also.
Yeah.
So I was trying to just hurry up and get my steps so that when I came back from the hurdles, I'd be able to just jump back and start pole vault because the competition would have started by then. So I planted my pole, and then my pole, my step was off, so I didn't have enough speed to carry me into the pit. So my pole kind of stalled out at the top and was just kind of like, my pole got here, and instead of going into the pit, it started to come backwards back to the track. So I ended up landing. I had to jump off my pole, and I landed on the track flat-footed basically, and I cracked the back of my heel.
Oh my God.
What?
Yeah, but I didn't know it at the time. At the time, like, I felt fine. Like, as soon as I hit, I knew I hit really hard, but I was able to get back up, and I was walking over to my coach. I talked to him for a little bit. And then when I was walking back to the bench area, I was like, something don't feel right. So I sat down for like 5 minutes, and when I got back up, I couldn't put any pressure on my left leg. So I had to basically pull out of that competition, and the meet coordinators or whatever gave me some crutches, and I basically was just on crutches for like 4 or 5 weeks or whatever, and I had to go get MRIs and all this type of stuff, and that's when I eventually found that I had cracked my heel. So that was after sitting out all of 2018 season.
Yeah.
That was my first meet back in 2019.
Damn.
Just to have to sit back out again for, I think it was like 6 weeks or something like that, which wasn't bad to me because I didn't need surgery or anything. I just had to basically just sit and
rest,
wear my boot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that was really frustrating for me. Just my first meet back, I just wanted to compete, and then that happened. Yeah. So finally, I don't have any indoor season. So at that point, I'm looking towards outdoor season and USA's. So that's pretty much all I was training for then. And it just meant a lot for me to be able to get back healthy and then get in shape again to be able to go out and, win USA's and also make the US team to Doha. It just meant a lot to be able to overcome that span of really like a year and a half of injury.
Yeah.
It just meant a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome. And how did you stay, like, I guess, motivated throughout the course of not only that injury, but previous injuries as well? A lot of athletes go through these injuries, and some kind of take it harder than others and might not come back stronger, and they might like kind of just be like, oh, like I'm kind of over this, I don't really want to try anymore. So how'd you stay motivated, and any advice to anyone listening on how to stay motivated through those kinds of injuries?
Yeah, for me, I just always knew that I wanted to be an athlete. Like y'all know, sports for me was my identity since a young age. Like I got into football at 6 years old.
Wow.
And that's pretty much like when my love for sports grew, was when I got into football. So I always knew I wanted to be a professional athlete when I got older. At the time, you know, when I was young, I wanted to be a football player, but overall, I just wanted to be an athlete. Like I wanted to play sports. That's what I knew how to do. That's what I love to do.
Yeah.
So, you know, dealing with my injuries, I never allowed them to really break me mentally, because I knew this is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when people get to the point of getting injured and then, you know, getting out of the sport or whatever, and everybody's situation is different, you know, but luckily for me, I never had like any career ending injury. All my injuries, I knew I'd be able to recover from, and get back to doing what I love. So I think that's what really motivated me, is that I knew like this injury wouldn't last, and that I would come out of it stronger, because I would be able to work the muscles that we don't usually get to work when we're just lifting heavy weights. You know, I can get back to, you know, doing resistance band work and work the small muscles in my legs and my arms. You know, I can work on the Alter G. I don't have to run on the track at full body weight. I could get on the Alter G and run at 60% of my body weight. You know, so I think I just kept myself motivated, just knowing what I wanted to accomplish, and also knowing what I could accomplish, because I always had this feeling that I can be and do anything I want to have, and I can be and do anything I want to be.
Yeah.
So I think just that driving force just kept me focused throughout all my injuries, and, you know, never really took me off my course.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. That's something I kind of strive to do every day as well, is not through injuries, just like that whole of like being who you want to be and making your own path, no matter what kind of sets you back or tries to set you back. So that's great.
There's always gonna be setbacks.
Yeah, exactly. Life throws you lots of mountains to climb. So you just gotta kind of get on your horse and climb it up. Is that what inspired you to create your Me vs. Me brand?
You're a smart man. You're a smart man. Yeah, that's well, there's really a lot of reasons why I created it, but that's one of the I guess that's the mentality behind it. Behind the Me vs. Me is, you know, you're gonna always face setbacks in whatever you do. It doesn't have to be sports. There's always gonna be some type of setback. But it's all about how you address the situation, how you handle it. First of all, it's how you see the situation, because you know, a lot of people, they blow things out of proportion. When really a lot of the things that we're facing is really small. We just have to learn. We just have to see how to get through it.
Yeah.
So I think for me, I realized that, you know, a lot of this stuff is mental. So that's the whole thing behind Me vs. Me is, you know, not comparing your journey to somebody else's journey, because, you know, this person, although they're not going through the things that you're going through, they have their own things that they're battling. Like everybody has their own challenges that they face. But it's all about, you know, how strong your mind is and how you see the problem, and, you know, map out a way how to get around it and then come out of it stronger.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Phenomenal message. I love that. And I really like the logo. You got the shirt on right now?
Yeah.
That's a sick logo.
Yeah, that is a cool logo.
That's cool.
Appreciate it.
I love that. So if you guys, anyone listening wants to grab a shirt, what do you sell? Just clothing?
Yeah, there's hats, there's shirts, there's hoodies, there's headbands, socks, shorts, wristbands, all kinds of stuff.
Awesome.
And the website is shopmvm.com.
Cool. Yeah, that's a great brand. I love that. Maybe I'll go.
I'm kind of curious. I do need gym shorts.
I don't have any gym shorts. The shorts that I have up there now are like lounge shorts, I guess.
Oh, okay. No, I like those too. Okay, cool. Okay, sounds good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And is that something you want to kind of continue to grow over the next few years?
Yeah, for me, when I made it, I didn't really have any goals for it. I just kind of, like I said, there was a lot of reasons why I created it. One of the reasons is because I realized that track athletes, we don't have like jerseys that people can go buy and, you know, support their favorite athlete like you can in football, baseball, you know, basketball.
Yeah.
So for me, I kind of wanted to give people something that they could have to, you know, represent me if they wanted to, you know, help me connect with fans or anybody who supports me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they can take my logo and wear it and feel like, you know, they're wearing my number or something like that. So that's another reason why I created it.
That's sick.
That's cool. Do you plan on bringing on like other athletes to kind of wear so they can wear their brand, or?
I haven't thought about it.
Not competitors, obviously.
Well, you know,
Like,
I would be into it, but I just haven't thought that far with it yet. You know, for me, it's just kind of, I also wanted to give myself something to wear so that I'm not just, you know, promoting some other brand that, you know, doesn't even know who I am. I kind of wanted something for myself. And that's kind of where I'm at with it now, is just kind of getting myself out there, building my brand, giving people something to support. And, you know, whatever comes after that, it's coming after that.
That's great. That's a smart move. Like, a lot of people don't really work on their personal brand, and a lot of athletes, sometimes they don't even know that they have like fans that look up to them, and they don't have anything to show for it, like won't even post on like Instagram or anything. It's great that you're kind of building the brand in something that people can like resonate and connect with.
Appreciate that. I think it's important because I think also as athletes, like you said, you know, not everybody knows that there's people out there looking up to us, and everybody's different. Like, track athletes aren't as high profile as like basketball players or something like that. But I can guarantee you, if you're an elite athlete and you're at the top of your sport, there's somebody that's looking up to you, whether you know it or not.
Exactly.
Because, you know, I know when I was young, there were people I was looking up to also. So that was the driving force also to why I created the brand, is because, you know, I know that there's some young kid in high school or middle school or even in college that's looking up to me. So I just wanted to create a brand to, you know, kind of, I don't know, get my point across, basically, get my mentality across, give them something motivational to look to, and to understand what it means.
Yeah, that's a great message to push.
I love that.
Any other goals kind of for the next 5 years, I guess, like the Olympics coming up, or we're supposed to come up this year? What happened to that? Are you going to the trials in 2021?
That's the plan. Yeah, trials. That's the next goal. And that's pretty much as far as I'm looking right now. Everything is on next summer. And that's all I'm thinking about every day when I wake up, every day when I go train. Is just training for the Olympic trials and really training for the Olympics. But first comes the trials and have to take care of business there. So I'm just making sure that I'm doing everything that I can to stay as healthy as I can for that. And that's really all that's on the menu right now.
That's awesome.
I love it.
And if you do make the Olympics, you and your sister will be the first brother-sister duo to compete in the same event in the Olympics.
Yep, the first ever brother-sister.
That's awesome. Hopefully you guys first ever brother-sister get gold as well in the event.
That's news.
That's what we did that at 2017 indoor nationals. We were the first brother-sister to win basically the same event. In college track. So that's what we're trying to. That's our whole thing, is we're trying to
replicate.
They call that the sibling sweep. So that's the whole thing. That's what we're trying to do at trials and, you know, hopefully at the Olympics.
That's awesome.
That's going to be a lot of barbecue chicken pizza celebrated.
I might have to eat 2 barbecue chicken pizzas.
That's awesome.
That's great. Is there any other brother-sister duos that have done that in any other events?
No, I don't think there's any brother-sister duo that do the same event. I know there's a lot of brother duos that are either in the same event or different events.
Okay.
But I don't think there's a brother-sister duo in the same event.
That's sick.
Wow,
That's cool.
That's pretty cool.
I'll be watching next year.
Appreciate that.
That's great. Anything else kind of like what are you doing for fun, I guess, right now? Because training, is that like, are you still going 100% training or has COVID kind of affected that?
Yeah, we're still training. My group, we train we're 3 people. So I'm training with about 3 people. Yeah, we're training every day, still lifting weights. What I do in my free time, pretty much just, if I'm not doing like anything recovery wise, I just watch like sports on TV. Like I was watching NBA finals when they were on.
You want to win?
I wanted the Lakers to win. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a LeBron fan.
Yeah.
That's why, that makes sense. Okay, that's fair. I was hopping on the Tyler Hero train. I was liking the hype, man. I think he's great. I wanted an upset, but LeBron.
Yeah, I wanted them to win their conference, but I knew that they weren't gonna beat the Lakers. The Lakers are too big and
no chance, dude. Like LeBron's also like he's gonna make a name. He wants to be the greatest of all time, and he says he is. And I think he's gonna keep going until he gets more rings than Jordan, just so he can now tell people I am the best winner. Because at the end of the day, everyone looks at like titles, and that's the people that are saying like Jordan's still better. So he just has to get more titles. So he's like, there you go. That's basically what he's gonna do until he can't play.
And what does he have? LeBron has 3 rings now, right?
4.
4 now.
He has 4 now?
Yeah, 2 with Miami, 1 with Cleveland, and 1 with Lakers.
So he needs
2 more.
3 more to pass.
3 more to
3
pass.
more because Jordan's 6'6", which is nuts still. That 6 for 6 is like that.
Everyone's gonna still say, oh, he went 6 for 6 though, and LeBron did.
Yeah, the percentage. Then it's gonna be percentage, and he's gonna be like.
There's some people that just hate LeBron.
Yeah,
they're not gonna let LeBron win.
Yeah, I think there's always gonna be people that are gonna, fight that down and still say like Jordan's better. At the end of the day, I don't think
some people say Kobe too is the best.
Yeah, people put Kobe in that conversation too. By the end of the day, it's like different eras. Yeah. Like Jordan was the best in his era, and LeBron was clearly the best in his era. So, like one analyst, because I was like doing research, I was curious one day, was saying, you can't compare the two. They're always going to be the best in their own, but they'll always go to the day like they die. They're going to be there, Jordan or LeBron. It's always going to be a thing.
Yeah, that's my whole thing too. Is like they're 2 different eras, and people that grew up in the Jordan era, they're gonna support Jordan. Yeah, even though there's some people that do support LeBron in that era, but I just think you can't compare them because also the game was different back then too.
So different.
So so you can't compare 2 people that played a different game, like different rules. It's a different game nowadays. So I think you just gotta respect them both.
Yeah, exactly.
I
agree with that. It's like hockey too. Like everyone compares like to Wayne Gretzky, like the best hockey player of all time.
Like his points
his numbers are never going to be beat.
His numbers are it's impossible because he was getting
he has more assists, right, than anyone does.
Points. The second guy does points. It's not like it's never going to be beat his numbers. So I'm
not too familiar with hockey. Who are they comparing to Wayne?
Like
McDavid, Crosby.
I don't. Okay. Yeah, McDavid, Crosby, like Bobby Orr, like people say, is defenseman, the greatest of all time.
Yeah, just in generation-wise, like McDavid, but like no one will ever touch his numbers because like goalies back then
couldn't even stand.
Their goalie equipment was.
The game is so much more competitive nowadays.
Nowadays, goalies take up the entire net just standing there.
But then you can say they're going the other way, basically saying like he was the best in his era. Then why wasn't he like the other guys? Why didn't everyone else get 2,000 points?
Yeah, the games were also like 10-7.
Like, I understand, like you're telling me, but then people can make the argument back like he was the one that got almost 3,000
you just can't
points.
compare. There's too many like back and forth. But yeah.
Way too many.
What's your
people
favorite?
Would stop trying to compare people and just like respect everybody for the era that they played in. Yeah, let everybody be great. Whoever's great, let them be great.
Seriously.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Who's your favorite football team?
I'm not like a diehard fan, but since being from Georgia, I root for the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay.
Which is pretty depressing sometimes. Well, a lot of times.
I don't want to bring up the Patriots.
I was about to make a bad joke, man. I was.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people though that's like a diehard fan though. So I don't get
Yeah.
heartbroken when they lose.
Yeah.
But it's just like that's the team that I cheer for just because that's my hometown.
Yeah.
But I was texting somebody yesterday. I was texting my friend. I told him like I need to find a new excuse to cheer for a new team because this is depressing.
I mean, you got Georgia. You can cheer for University of Georgia. They're
yeah,
always,
of course. Like
they're always up there.
that's the Georgia team that I will always cheer for.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, it's like for some reason Atlanta sports teams have some type of curse. Like the Hawks, the Falcons. I don't know much about the soccer team they just came out with. I think they were doing pretty good, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it's just some type of curse.
I mean, you could what one of my friends did. He went on like a website with the list of the teams, and then he just blindfolded just picked a team.
I
might need to do that.
Yeah, or you can just be like, you can bandwagon and just choose like a top NFL team. Like I don't know if that's something you want to do, but like
Pittsburgh's doing pretty well right now.
Yeah, we're Pittsburgh fans. So if you want,
you're Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
I can jump on that bandwagon.
Yeah, I'm 5-0, man. I'm loving life.
I don't know if I think if I pick a new team, it'll be based on colors.
Okay.
I think it'll just be whoever's colors I like the most.
Whose colors do you like the most?
Well, my favorite color is like a royal blue. So I think if I chose like a blue team, it would be either like the Rams probably, or I don't know. I think I used to actually like the Chargers when I was a kid, but that's because I don't know if you guys know LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah,
the old running back.
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, he used to be my favorite running back when I was a kid. He played on the Chargers, so that's who I used to watch growing up. But yeah, it probably had to be.
I like the
some
Seahawks.
Team with blue.
The jerseys.
Yeah, Seahawks
I like the
nice.
lime.
Yeah.
The lime with the blue, I think, is the lime green, the blue. I think so nice.
Yeah, I think the Seahawks probably had the nicest jerseys in the NFL.
Yeah,
I think a lot of NFL teams. Yeah, I think a lot of NFL teams, their jerseys are like really basic, but the Seahawks are like, really detailed.
Yeah, a lot of teams are starting to go. Like the Rams now have like a very vibrant blue and yellow. They're starting to come out.
A lot of people didn't like their uniforms. A lot of people said they were too like plain.
They are. They are kind of like, I guess.
They all are though. Like if I look at all the jerseys, like a lot of them are kind of like plain, kind of sort of. Like, Steelers have they changed their jerseys and like.
No, barely.
Yeah, it's always been like the black and yellow and then their staple logo.
Yeah, it's just like I like
watching, Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was gonna say I like the color rush ones a lot that
Those
they
are
have.
sick. Yeah. Color rush for any team.
Yeah.
Any team's color. I don't know who has like the all white is cool. I think
I like the all white too.
Yeah, it was I think Oakland, but they're not Oakland anymore.
Las Vegas.
They had like the all white. It was a color. It was so and like the numbers were like a silver. It was pretty sick.
Yeah, I like the Raiders too. That might be a new team that I go for because they just moved cities too, so they're trying to get new.
That makes sense if you were to do that one too.
They're doing good too this year.
Yeah,
they beat Kansas. They've the young Ruggs, I think his name, the wide receiver. Yeah, they're doing well. Yeah, were you a running back as a kid?
So when I first started playing, I was a running back, and then when I got to middle school, I became like a kind of like a mix between a running back and a receiver. So I was like a slot guy.
Slot, yeah.
Yeah, and then when I got to high school, they split me out wide, so I was a wide receiver. But also they tried to make me into a corner in middle school, but I didn't really like defense that much. I like offense.
Yeah.
Offense.
Yeah, so I played better on offense. So I think subconsciously I didn't play too well on defense because I wanted to only play offense.
Yeah, I didn't want to just like going for the picks.
Yeah, like I didn't want to be a two-way guy. I like making plays happen.
Yeah. I played 1 year of high school football, and obviously in Canada it's not as good as the States. So I had never played football before, and I just made the team as a starter, like wide receiver. But yeah, it was fun. We can't. Yeah. It's hard to play as a wide receiver. I don't know how it was for you, but like when you don't have a quarterback that just throws dimes, like it's hard to play wide receiver, and like usually in high school they can't throw as far. So it's tough. It gets like you get like a few catches a game or even passes a game.
Well, for me in high school, it might have just been in Georgia period, but most high school teams were a run first team.
Okay.
So a lot of the times, like as receivers, we were blocking, which was also kind of fun for me too, because like my favorite kind of block, which I think is against the rules now, but like the crackback block, like when they're not even looking.
Yeah.
when they're going for the ball carrier, I would just come back and like he would be looking this way and I'll be coming from this way.
Yeah.
And like those are my favorite kind of blocks.
When you run downfield and come back when the run.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I love those. But I think those are against the rules now, so I wouldn't be able to do them nowadays, but I used to love those.
Yeah, I've seen some like back. They definitely changed the rules like a lot.
For
But
sure.
back when I was like watching some like just high school highlights in the States on like kickoff returns, there's this one guy that would just come and just hammer kids on kickoff returns because like no one's looking on those. They're just trying to block, and this guy just comes and knocks them.
Yeah, I didn't know it was against the rules until I was watching the game like a couple of days ago, and they gave some guy a penalty for it. And I was like, nah, I used to do these all the time. that's when I realized it was against the rules now.
Yeah, there's a lot more rules in every sport in regards to like contact.
Everything.
Yeah, trying to make it safer now.
Yeah.
To be honest, it probably is for the better. If we're being realistic, it's probably for the better.
It's just sometimes it's borderline, right? Like if you make it's hard to tell like when the targeting thing in the NFL now, it's like you have to lower the shoulder, but like the helmets are so big that sometimes they just get in the way.
It's going so fast, and like sometimes a wide receiver like comes down and they put their head down, but the defensive guy's already committing. He's already committed to the head. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, and going off of that, I think like I guess it's important also, but I think there's way too many rules regarding the quarterback. Like the quarterback is playing football too. So like you just not allowed to hit him anymore. So it kind of makes it hard on like people that are like rushing the passer because you won't know like if he's going to release the ball or not. But if he releases it and you like hit him still, like that's going to be a penalty. Yeah. Even if like the guy doesn't get hurt or even if the hit wasn't that bad, like I don't know. It's just way too many rules I think now. But I mean, I guess it's for the greater good.
Yeah. Even with the diving or the quarterbacks like sliding, you can't go down. Yeah. You can't even attempt to hit them. So like that's an easy 2 to 3 extra yards. And if you're going for like a first down on like third, you know, like that's like those inches matter. And you just have to back away and just let them slide.
Yeah.
And also like I think the quarterbacks are like getting hit to the rules too, because I think now, like, you know, when a quarterback is running and you can tell that he's going to run out of bounds, so the defender will kind of let him run out. I feel like sometimes he'll like lower his shoulder and like hit you when you're not even expecting it. Because I've seen like a few highlights of quarterbacks like running through defensive backs because the defensive back thought he was going out of bounds, but like he was just trying to not get a penalty. But the quarterback knew that he was going to be soft on him, so he went ahead and lowered his shoulder into him. And now it just makes the quarterback seem like he's so strong and they could take advantage of the rules, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like you could probably go pretend like you're going to run out of bounds and then just stop up at the sidelines and get a few extra yards because people they're not charging through the sideline hit or just getting your way. So I don't know. It's a lot of rules that get excessive, but I guess they know what they're doing there. Yeah. So great conversation. We are kind of rooting for you to make it to the Olympics, get that brother sister duo.
Appreciate it.
Excited to see what you got also with your brand coming up, and just follow your kind of journey. It was a great podcast. What we do kind of at the end is a speed round. So we got a list of questions here. The last one you can take a little bit more time on to answer, but the first few, we're just going to kind of send them at you. Just give us what's on the top of your head.
All right, let me take my headphones out because I think they're about to die. I don't want it to die like mid-question.
Okay,
Hold on a second. All right, ready.
All right, so the first one might have already been answered. What's your favorite food?
Pizza.
Yeah.
Favorite movie or TV show?
Ali movie.
Okay.
Biggest fear?
Regret.
Ooh, that's a good answer, dude.
Oh, that's a good answer.
That hits. That's it.
If you could be another athlete other than a track and field athlete, what would it be?
Floyd Mayweather.
Nice. That's a nice one. That's another good one. Favorite artist?
Music.
Yeah.
Nipsey Hussle.
Cool.
Favorite thing to do outside of track and field?
Actually play basketball.
Okay, nice. If you could travel to one place before you die, where would it be?
Man, that's a deep question.
It is.
One place. I don't know. I want to go to Australia.
Nice. That's a good answer.
For what reason? Like beaches?
I don't know. It's just always seemed like it's so far away. So I don't know. I just wanted to see what it's like, how it's different.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's just a warm Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really? I've never been to Canada either.
Come.
It's freezing.
No.
I want to go to Canada.
Dude, man, it's cold, man.
It's cold. And it's getting cold, but it's fun in the summer.
I want to come to California or Miami. That's where I want to go.
Yeah.
All right. Last one. You can take a little longer here. If you could say one thing to your younger self, what would it be and why?
I'll probably tell them to stay focused. You know, don't just go with the crowd. Think for yourself. I mean, you asked for one thing, but I guess I'm giving like multiple things.
Go for it, man.
It's all on the same lines. Just stay focused on, you know, reaching your goals, but don't stress out about them. You know, stay calm and confident, and you know, everything's gonna come.
Nice.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Well, that's it for the speed round and the podcast. As we said, shopmvm.com is Devin's brand. Make sure to check it out. Great meeting, great message. I really resonate with it.
Yeah, I love it.
And I feel like a lot more people will as well. Anything else you kind of want to give a shout out to?
Shout out to y'all for having me. I appreciate y'all having the conversation with me. It was fun. I can't wait till it comes out.
Thank you.
We'll definitely keep in touch. We'll let you know when it's released, and we're definitely going to follow your journey.
Sounds good. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
bro. Have a good one.
All right, you too.
See ya.